I'm Jordan Hatfield. This is Faster Film Critic. Today on the show, we talk Scream 7 with Kolter and Chase Fugel. Scream 7 is a 2026 horror slasher film directed by Kevin Williamson, starring Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, and Isabel May. Ah! That's a reaction this franchise rarely gets out of me. Let's see how Scream 7 does. Get in. We're going cinephile'n. So, are you guys Scream fans?
I like the first one.
You like the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the first one.
You love the first one. 2 sentences, guys. Tell me why you love the first one.
It was sort of the slasher comedy. It was sort of dead at that point, so it kind of helped, reinvigorate it. It was just different enough with kind of a fun cast that it was inventive and sort of refreshing.
I just love it. I love it. It was surprisingly dark, though. I watched it for this episode. I hadn't seen it before. I was surprised how much they psychologically tortured Sydney and how normal she was in Scream 7.
Yeah.
Because holy, I'd be messed up after that.
Yeah, well, if you haven't seen 2 through 6, man, she goes through some trouble.
Even more.
So Chase has only seen 1 and 7. Kolter, what about you?
And I've probably seen a couple, 3 or so since the first one. I don't remember which ones, and I couldn't tell you anything about them.
So I watched them all for this episode, all to get ready for Scream 7. I went 1 through 6. Dude, I am up to speed. It's fresh in my memory. I'm ready to go. And I have to admit to something.
Yeah?
The Scream movies are pretty stupid. However, I had a lot of fun watching these films, man. I really did. A Scream marathon is worth it. I recommend it.
Okay.
Not every film was good. In fact, some were downright terrible.
Yeah.
But despite my criticisms, I had a lot of fun with these films, and I was really excited going into Scream 7.
Okay. And what did you think?
Well. Before we get into Scream 7, it's important to understand a couple things.
Okay.
These films are very self-referential.
Yeah?
Scream 1 sets up some rules. Scream 2
True.
sets up rules for the sequel. Scream 3 sets up rules for the trilogy.
Okay.
Scream 4 sets up rules for this franchise. And you've got the same characters through all these films. These same legacy characters, 1 through 4. In my opinion, this is one of the biggest weaknesses of these films. They've constantly got one foot in the past.
Yeah.
And they're trying to move forward to the future. And it just is messy.
Yeah.
I hate it when they try to get meta and smart about it, too.
Oh, God.
They criticize their own movie
Yes.
while they're in it.
Yeah.
But it just makes it look more
Yeah,
stupid.
like you're not being
There
clever.
is no franchise that is more meta, that is more focused on itself than the Scream franchise.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like that thing where they're trying to be clever, and it's like, okay, you're looking at me, you're winking. It's not cute.
Yeah.
It's not working.
Yeah.
I agree with that too. That is also a heavy hand in these movies, and it works for a lot of people. It just didn't work for me. That really ties into the silliness, kind of the cheesiness, the corniness, the campiness, all the things that you can throw tomatoes at. That's one of them. So I agree with that as well. However, in Scream 5, they try to go in a new direction.
Okay.
So they bring in these 4 like replacement characters, but they do not abandon the legacy characters. I wish they would have, but they didn't, they don't.
Is this the one with Jenna Ortega?
Yes. So Scream 5 comes in, and it stars Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega, Jasmine Savoy Brown, and Mason Gooding. These are the 4 new actors that come in. And they really try and push the franchise forward in number 5. And I thought that largely worked for me. 5 was my favorite sequel.
Okay.
Up until this point.
All right.
3 was by far the worst.
Okay.
5 was my favorite sequel. Then number 6 comes along.
Yeah, okay.
It felt like 5 was a big step in the right direction, and 6 kind of slid backwards a little bit in my mind.
Okay.
Now 7, Scream 7 was supposed to be kind of a trilogy film within the franchise. 5, 6, and 7 all revolved around these new characters. And Scream 7 was really supposed to focus on Sam Carpenter, played by Melissa Barrera. She was the central figure, but guess what she decided to go and do?
Huh.
She went ahead and made some little tweety tweets about politics,
Oh.
specifically about Gaza.
Oh.
She made some comments that Gaza was being treated like a concentration camp, that Israel's actions were similar to genocide and ethnic cleansing, and the studio fired her because of it.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, they
That's
came
crazy.
out. They came out and said this is hate speech. This is anti-Semitic, and she said no. This is just human rights and peace speech. I'm not attacking the Jewish people. The studio did not care. Out she went.
Oh, yes.
Well, she was the main character of Seven. Okay, so this is trouble.
Yes.
Guess what else? Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera were good friends, and Jenna Ortega the very next day said,
I'm walking.
"Oh, you fire my friend. Guess what I'm out
Yeah.
to."
Oh my God, drama.
Well, then.
Yeah, I'm loving this.
Yeah.
This is better than Scream 7.
So then the director of Scream 7, Christopher Landon, starts getting death threats because everyone thinks he's the one that's fired Melissa Barrera. So now he's like, whoa, I didn't fire her. It was the studio. I'm getting death threats. This is too hot. My lead characters are now out of my movie. This is an entirely different movie. I'm out too.
Yeah.
So then he quits.
What a messy puddle of shit.
They go through a tremendous amount of rewrites
Yeah.
to come up with Scream 7.
Okay.
And I think that's really important to understand going into Scream 7 because it does not follow the path of Scream 6, which is what this film was supposed to do. Scream 6 ended and left it wide open for a continuation, and this isn't a continuation of number 6.
Yeah. It felt like they were kind of doing the Halloween reboot thing with the Laurie Strode's character. And that was a flawed movie, but that was more interesting in terms of character development and where a character like that might be than this one was.
Yeah, so there isn't a lot about the original script. Neve Campbell was not in Scream 6. There was contract disputes. She was upset about the pay. She said,
hear that, yeah.
here's my middle finger, and walked out the door. She was not in Scream 6.
Yeah, okay.
I believe that she had a small part in Scream 7, but I don't know. Nobody knows for sure.
Okay.
The story was supposed to center around Sam Carpenter.
Okay.
If you're familiar with Scream 5 and 6, you know that Sam Carpenter is the daughter of Billy Loomis, who is the main killer in Scream 1.
Okay.
And the rumor is, in Scream 7, the original script, Sarah Carpenter was supposed to kind of give in to these serial killer tendencies that she's inherited from her father, and I think she was going to be Ghostface, which would have been kind of interesting, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe. Who knows, yeah.
As long as they didn't do deep fakes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it seems like the antagonist, each iteration, or each sequel to this movie, the antagonist gets more and more silly and desperate, whoever they're going to go with.
Yes, and that is the downside of the whodunit aspect of these films.
Yeah.
So what do? They hire Kevin Williams to direct. Now, interestingly, Kevin Williams wrote Scream 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Well, I didn't know about the other ones. I just knew about the first one.
Yeah, no, he wrote 1 through 4.
Okay.
He didn't write 5 or 6, but he came back and wrote 7. With the director quitting, he falls into the director's chair. So here he is. This is his first time directing a Scream film. I think it's only like his second or third directorial responsibility ever.
Okay.
But here he is. And so, man, talk about a bunch of drama going into Scream 7. Rewrites and new cast and bringing in Neve Campbell. She's now front and center.
Right.
You've got a brand new director, last minute. This thing was a recipe for disaster right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And don't forget, Melissa Barrera voiced her concerns about Gaza and then gets fired. That pissed off a lot of people on both sides of the political aisle. I mean, there were people calling for this film to be boycotted.
Yeah, I
So
was
is
hearing
this
about
the worst in the franchise?
Guys, this is far from the worst of the franchise. Now, it is
What?
taking a lot of shit. It is taking a lot of shit. And for one who has just watched them, like within the last week has watched all of them, this is far from the worst Scream film. In fact, in context of all the other Scream movies, this is important, guys, in context, I thought this film was a lot of fun. And I can't wait to hear why you two schmucks hated it so much.
I can't wait to tell you.
Yeah.
Well, let me hear it, man. Lay it on me.
Yeah. It was mildly entertaining, but, pretty stupid and predictable at the end of the day. And yeah, I was hearing some stuff about Neve Campbell, like rumors that she was like holding out until they backed up a truck full of money into her driveway.
And good for her, by the way. Scream does not exist without Neve Campbell.
Yeah,
These
get
films
your bag.
revolve around her.
Sure.
They need to pay her, and I'm glad they did.
Yeah, get your bag. Yeah, for sure. That doesn't mean she put in a wonderful and inspiring performance, though. I mean, I'll take the batshit crazy Laurie Strode live in a fortress approach to a traumatized character than Neve Campbell's humble little coffee shop and, I've got a safe room in my house, but I'm not going to use it. Kind of crazy. And that's the writing. We'll it's not her fault, but I will say this. She's aged gracefully, unlike somebody else in this movie who I think should have been the real monster and was far more scary than fucking Ghostface.
Courtney Cox is way scarier looking than Ghostface. She comes on.
That's what I'm saying.
She came on screen, and it was the first time that I have actually screamed in a Scream movie in a long time.
Right.
She walked on stage. I was like, "Whoa, whoa,
Jesus Christ!"
Oh wait, no, that's just Courtney Cox. Whew, I'm good.
Who is that? What is that,
dude?
Oh,
goodness,
painful.
gracious.
And I've never found Ghostface to be a particularly scary. Out of all the slasher films, all the great, movie monsters and things, this has always been what is the makeshift Halloween store they put up when businesses fail? Spirit Halloween. Spirit Halloween. It's always struck me as it's meant to be a cheap costume, but because of it, it's just it's never been scary. It's never been intimidating. It's always been kind of silly, which I think is part of the point. But good God, Courtney Cox needs to stop. I don't know why people think this is a good idea to do this to their face.
And the Scream team really needs to quit hiring her. No offense to her, but again, the legacy characters drag this film down in every single installment.
Yeah.
She's already been stabbed like 50 times if you've watched the other films. She should have been dead a long time ago.
Right.
Why do we keep hiring her? I
don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Stay in your house.
Please move on.
Yeah.
Chase, why'd you hate Scream 7?
I actually didn't hate the start. The start was about what I expected.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, this is going to be fun. A little silly, but fun.
Yeah.
But the movie got significantly worse from the start. I think the start was one of the strongest parts of this movie.
Yeah.
Watching it right after Scream 1 for the first time was pretty cool. When they talk about all the deaths and everything.
Yeah.
It's still fresh on my mind. Just something so pleasant about that.
So I agree with you about the opening sequence. I thought it was great. In fact, I thought it was one of the best of them all. It reminded me a little bit of the Stanley Hotel and The Shining by Stephen King. My wife and I went and stayed at the Stanley one time.
Okay.
And, dude, I geeked out just like this loser did. But I got to tell you guys, I have thrown a ton of criticism at these films. I think the writing is often subpar. I think the characters can be silly.
Sure.
I think the acting is melodramatic. And I think Ghostface can be uncoordinated and almost clown-like in the way he's constantly tripping over stuff and running into doors and trying to break through barriers. It's just kind of dumb. And there's this formula that they just rinse and recycle and repeat sequel after sequel after sequel.
Yeah.
And it's just grown tired. I think a large part of the problem with this criticism is that they continue to bring back the same original characters.
Sure.
And I've criticized this for multiple sequels now. And so when I saw in Scream 7 they were bringing Neve Campbell back, I was just like, here we go again. But I got to tell you guys, this film really surprised me. Not because the formula is any different. It's not. It's the same recycled thing we've seen 7 times now.
Oh, yes.
But I felt Sidney Prescott really worked here.
Okay.
That's what surprised me. Is I was like, oh no, here we go again for the 7th installment. In Scream 5, they bring in these new characters, but they're still the old characters. And in Scream 6, they try and focus more on the new characters, but they're still the old characters. And there's this constant fight between old legacy characters and replacement legacy characters. And in Scream 7, they were forced to just forget all of that and focus in on a story. And ultimately, I want to see this franchise go in new directions with new characters. And here we go with Sidney Prescott again. But I really liked Isabel May as her daughter, Tatum. I thought Isabel was fantastic. Now, granted, the writing around her character isn't always fantastic, but I really liked that story. I felt like because the story was more simple, they were able to focus in. I felt like that helped provide a little bit more tension to the story. So if you hated Scream 7, I get it. Man, I totally get it. What I don't get is if you love Scream 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and hated 7. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. I think
Zero sense to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because
Sure.
in the context of the franchise, all of the silliness that you guys are complaining about, all the stupid things that you guys are throwing tomatoes out, all the aspects of this film that you guys are criticizing, in my opinion, is even worse in the other films.
Yeah.
Not in the original Scream.
Not in the original. No, not in the
No,
original.
no,
The
no.
original is the best. They've proven now 6 times that they can't touch the original.
Yeah, and this is what people have come to expect of this franchise, and this is kind of what they come for. So I can't disagree with that. Dude, my theater was packed. I haven't seen that many people in a theater in a movie since I've
Mine was
been
pretty
here.
packed, too.
I was surprised. Yeah, I was surprised.
So believe it or not, Scream 7 has had the biggest opening weekend of any Scream film ever.
Yeah.
It's done really, really well on opening weekend.
Yeah, sure.
And yet, surprisingly, there's a lot of people that are just dogging on this film. I don't get it.
Well,
I do.
oh.
The writing was pretty terrible here.
Agreed. But again, guys,
Yeah.
the writing is terrible in 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6.
I know,
And
but
if
I
you-
haven't seen those, so those don't matter to me.
I know, but the fans...
For me,
that
I
cult
watch
is-
Scream 1, then I go to this, and it's like, holy shit, what happened
see the
within those
degradation.
5 between here?
Yeah.
I get it, and you're 100% valid. My point is different. My point is, for all the fans that showed up in Kolter's Theater and theaters around the world that love 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, why are they dogging on this one? I don't get it. The writing is piss poor in most of these films.
I got one guess.
What's the difference here?
I think I got one guess.
I got a couple.
Okay, you go first.
This one leans so much on tech, and it's so hard to watch. The deep fake, the AI commentary, the dumbed down FaceTime interface on her phone that looks entirely unrealistic, or the security system in her house. I just hate this ultra modern feel. Even the production design in the house and throughout the rest of the movie, it's so soulless and does not lend itself to this kind of movie.
Yeah. If that's one, I think I got the second one.
Okay.
I'd be curious to see if you agree. Some amount of cleverness has been employed as to who the bad guy or bad guys or bad gals end up being in all of these movies. This was the one I felt that this was the stupidest, cheapest, like, who are these people? Why do we care that they're the bad people? Makes no sense. It was so desperate and just so unfulfilling that it ended up being these two kind of nobodies. When the whole movie you had Matthew Lillard, who comes back as like, apparently Stu is back from the first movie, and he was hamming it up, dude. He was having so much fun tormenting Sid throughout this movie. And he was, to me, every time he came on screen, I was like, oh, thank God, more of him. He was funny. He was mocking Sid. I was cracking up. He was full of energy. He was, chewing it up. I thought, well, for sure the movie's going to find a creative way to make us think that it's not him and it's going to end up being him, which would have been more fun and more fulfilling, and it would have closed a nice loop, especially the way that Chase has seen it from, if you're watching it from 1 to 7, it's kind of a cool bridge, right? Chase, you're saying it was kind of fun to have none of those other movies kind of clouding it, just those two. There was an opportunity there that I think they missed out on, and for the bad people to be these two nobodies that we couldn't care less about was such a shitty climax and so disappointing that I think that's got to be
3 nobodies. There was 3 nobodies.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, 3 nobodies.
Who were they? There was the neighbor.
Right.
Yeah, there was the neighbor. I can't remember her name. She's played by Anna Camp, but she was the main antagonist.
And then who were the other 2?
Well, the
The
other
other guy
guy
was
at
like
the end is the orderly from the mental institution.
Psych ward.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was from the psych ward.
Uh-huh.
And that's where they met.
Uh-huh.
She went crazy and killed her husband. She was motivated by Sidney Prescott to kill her husband. Then
kill
she
the
ends up
villain.
in the psych ward and meets that dude,
Yeah.
whoever he is.
Some rando
and
that
she
came
also
into the-
recruits another mental patient at the hospital. In fact, he is the guy that we see in the coffee shop. He's the first Ghostface that's killed.
Yeah.
So I agree and disagree with a lot of things that you guys have
Okay.
said. Number one, the killers, and particularly the motivations of the killers, is the weakest of all Scream movies.
Yes.
Absolutely
Has
agree
to
with
be.
that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the absolute weakest part of this story was the motivations of the killers. Agreed.
Yeah.
I'd just say all the characters. Every character in this movie. I don't remember their names. I don't remember hardly anything about them.
Sure, but keep in mind, some of these characters were built in 5 and 6, which you didn't see.
But what about Tatum?
were just
You heard Tatum like
meat sacks waiting
5,000
to
times.
die.
Tatum.
So what I gather from Chase's commentary is he is just not a big fan of the Scream movies.
No, I love Scream.
No.
I love
I'm not
Scream
talking
1.
I'm not talking about the original. I'm talking about the franchise. I'm talking about 2 through 7. I know you haven't seen 2 through 6.
Yeah, I can't say because I haven't seen them.
All of your complaints from 7 would also fall on 2 through 6. And so what I gather,
The AI deepfake stuff?
not specifically, but conceptually, yes.
No,
Look,
no.
all these films, 2 through 7, there are writing problems, there are character problems, there are weaknesses. If you're holding it to a high standard, every single one of these films is going to let you down. Am I right, Kolter? I mean,
Yeah.
you've seen a couple. Am I right?
I've probably seen, like I said, a couple, 3 of them since the first one, but I don't remember them. I know that the one with, so hold on. Jenna Ortega was in 2 other Scream movies or just the last one?
She was introduced in 5 and has a significant role in 6.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that. Okay. Well, the answer is I don't know.
So I do know Kolter, and let me tell you, guys, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just the only one that has seen these films.
I'm going to watch all of them and give them all 5 stars just to say, you.
Please watch them. I'm not telling you that you're wrong in your criticisms of Scream 7. I think your points are very valid. What I'm trying to say is the writing in Scream 2 through 6 is equally as bad, if not worse.
Sure.
That's what I'm arguing.
To sort of back you up on this, Jordan, I think shitting on movies right now has become kind of a thing, right? It's kind of a trend. And I think this falls victim to the typical moviegoer / audience getting just kind of tired of subpar movies, when in fairness, it's probably what they should have expected from a movie like this. So I think that's, to a degree, a little bit of it, is that there is now kind of an industry online that just loves shitting on movies. And I think that could be part of it, because in the movie's defense, I ended up liking this movie a little bit better than I thought I would, because I'd heard things from some of the critics that I like to watch shitting all over it, taking big hot steaming dumps on this movie, and maybe that's part of it.
I don't know what it is exactly about this movie. Maybe that it's trying really hard or it's taking itself super seriously. Because I watched something like Terrifier, which is super bad, and everybody knows that it's written really bad.
Yeah.
And everybody knows why you're there, just for the kills.
Yeah.
Just for the scary parts. But I enjoy those. I think they're so much fun. But this one, I don't feel that. It's not like I can sit back and laugh and be scared for a little bit. It's just like, holy crap, this is terrible. And it doesn't even know it. Like, it's taking itself so seriously.
Yeah.
It's just not as fun for me.
I totally understand that. And the point that I was trying to make earlier, that I think you've misunderstood me on, is not that you're wrong when any of your criticism of Scream 7.
You're saying the whole franchise is like that.
I'm saying Scream 7 is better than most of what this franchise has to offer.
Okay.
So all of your critiques for Scream 7 are just going to be amplified in the other films. And so the obvious question is, if Scream 7 is in the top half of the Scream films, how come its rating is the lowest? Because it is currently the lowest, right?
Yeah.
Good question. I have a theory on that. I think it is political. I think that this film got pushed into the political conversation. You have an actress who's voicing her opinion, who upsets a lot of people on one side, and then she gets fired for that opinion, which upsets a lot of people on the other side.
Okay.
People were calling for boycotts of this film before it was ever released, and I think that people went into this film not liking it, not because of the merits of the movie, but because of the political position this movie finds itself in.
Yeah, it could be.
That's my opinion. I think this movie started off on the wrong foot before anyone had even seen it. And the evidence to back up my point is the fact that only 34% of critics liked this movie and 78% of audiences liked it, according to Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
Now, major critics have dumped on this film, just like you guys, and I'm not saying they're wrong either, but if all the news is negative about Scream 7 before you go see it, people are most likely, people who love this franchise, I'm not talking about you guys, I'm talking about people who love this franchise, is most likely to hone in on the negativity and pile on because they don't want to leave a positive review when all the other world critics are leaving negative ones.
Well, I don't want to make a podcast episode specifically for them. And I'm here to set the record straight with no political bias. This movie is ass.
And you can have that opinion.
I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. I just think if you're a fan of the Scream movies...
But I'm not.
But you're not.
Yeah.
But those who are, I think, have just come to overlook the writing weaknesses, the character weaknesses, the campiness, the silliness, some of the stupidity. I had to, but I got to admit there's something about these Scream movies that I like, and I don't know what it is because I've been throwing tomatoes at these movies since the beginning. I think there's a lot of weaknesses, and that includes 7. There's a lot of weaknesses. I agree. The motivation of the killers at the end is by far the stupidest of all the movies. Yeah. But yet, there's something about these movies that I liked, and that includes number 7.
Okay.
I'm surprised that 2, 3, and 4, written by the same person, aren't as good.
No, they're not. They're
like
super
terrible?
campy. I mean, I'm assuming you're saying they're not as good as the original. And no, they're not. I find them a lot campier. I find them a lot more silly. I find them a lot more unbelievable. I find the characters weaker. I mean, a lot of people love 2, and 2 was definitely better than 3, which was, in my opinion, the very worst of the franchise.
Okay.
Scream 1 is inarguably the best. I think Scream 5 comes in second. And then we start talking about Scream 7 and Scream 6. I think Scream 3 is the worst. I think Scream 4 is probably next in line, and then Scream 2. That's how I would order them. I think Scream 7 has a lot to offer when considering all the other Scream movies.
Now that it's been well defined, it's a strong argument. I mean, I'll tell you this. I had more fun. I was more entertained with this than I was Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights was a slog to get through. This at least had some funny shit. I think where that meta aspect was fresh and original in the new one. Yes, that's what this franchise is known for, but it was so just ham-fisted. There was a moment in the bar where the two crew people for Gale Weathers was kind of like, they were talking about something like nostalgia, and I was like, oh my god, it was just so
Kolter,
terrible.
Yeah,
the meta aspect of Scream 7 is dialed down, like considerably dialed down.
It is, but
from 2 through 6, considerably dialed down.
I wish that made it better, though. I wish that made it better.
It doesn't make Scream 7 better. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. But if you're okay with the meta 2 through 6, like this is dialed down.
Okay.
The characters here, this film is more focused than the other Scream films.
Okay.
The characters feel more natural. The dialogue is better. It's a little bit more sharp. The tone is more consistent. The kills are some of the best in the franchise. Scream 7 is definitely more confident than many of the other films. I'm not saying this is a great film.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's better than most of what this franchise has to offer. If you guys hate Scream 7, I get it. I'm not going to argue with you there.
Yeah.
If you say it's ass, I'm not going to argue with you there either.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah,
But for those who love the Scream movies, that's who I'm talking to. For those who love the Scream movies, man, you cannot shit on this film. You can't.
Yeah,
it's hypocritical.
Just to be clear,
it's inconsistent.
I don't hate it. At least a little bit. It knows it's stupid. I don't hate it because I knew what to expect. You know, if I'm rating the movie in terms of its quality and its impact and its writing and its performance, it's not a good movie, and that's okay. But yeah, I don't hate it. There's some entertainment factor in there. It's just it comes with a heaping pile of flaws as well, and that's kind of what this franchise is. That's all right. Aside from the first one, which I think is a pretty solid movie.
I will say, I really did, and this is going to shock you guys, and get your stones ready because you're going to throw them at me.
Tomatoes.
But I really did like the way they brought Matthew Lillard back.
Yeah, it was fun.
Compared to the way they've brought other people back in the past.
Yeah.
When they started to plant the idea that Stu Macher was still alive,
Right.
I was like, oh, no. Like, this is... You said it might have worked, Kolter, and maybe it would have for you.
I
But
think
for
there's a
me,
way. Yeah.
I was like, this is the same stupid shit we've seen in every other Scream film. Like,
Sure.
get away from the legacy characters. It's so bad. I'm so tired of it.
Yeah.
And this idea that he wasn't really back and the killer was using an AI version of him to really get inside Sidney's head, that worked for me. I thought it was really effective, at least compared to a lot of the other trickery they've tried.
Yeah.
I thought it worked.
But it was fun for me primarily because I think Matthew Lillard was having a good time. And I was too. If he hadn't played it the way he did, then it would have just been stupid and cheap. And yeah, would have definitely inspired some eye rolls. But he was my favorite part of the movie, just his little appearances here and there.
I didn't love him in this movie, but I do like Matthew Lillard. I think he's fun.
Yeah.
I think he was the weakest part of the original.
Maybe of the original,
What?
but
I do.
Do you like him more in Scream 7?
Yes, I liked him a lot in Scream 7, and I like him more in the original because of Scream 7. When he came on, I was like, okay, this is working for me.
Okay.
So yeah, I really liked him in Scream 7. Thought he was great.
yeah.
He didn't work for me here, but I love him in the first one. We're like switched on that.
He was just a little too over-the-top silly for me in the first one.
Do you know what surprised me?
Huh.
Like one of the most surprising things about this movie is the motivation that they tried to give Sydney's daughter. She had to like prove herself because her drama teacher told her that she was too meek in her portrayal of a dog.
Oh, right.
And so she's like, dang it,
That's
I
some
got to
tight
prove
writing
myself.
Right there.
Yeah.
That's some tight writing right there.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
I liked Isabel May. I mean, we can trash talk the writing around her character, but I thought she did a great job. Any thoughts on the kills?
The one in the bar where he puts the guy's head on that spike and then the drink starts coming out of his mouth, that was crazy. I liked it.
I thought the kill of the girl hanging in the theater.
I was going to say that one too.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when she's hanging upside down like Trent Reznor in the Closer music video and her guts are spilling from her and there's the backlighting, the really bright spotlight behind her.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I thought that was a pretty cool kill as well.
Yeah, those were fun as they always tend to be. Yeah.
I thought Scream 7 had great kills. I love the way Ghostface would kind of hide in the shadows. Like sometimes you would just barely see him and he would kind of sleek back into the blackness. I thought it was really cool. Guys, I think it's time to rate Scream 7. I want to know, what did you think on a scale of 1 to 5?
Well, there were 2 really cool kills in this movie. The one in the bar and the one in the school. So I'm going to give half a star for each of those kills and get to a 1-star rating.
I didn't hate this movie, just to clarify. I think it was mildly entertaining. It's stupid, it's predictable, it's completely uninspired. I think they were trying to kind of do this, nostalgia bait thing that they have been doing for far too long now. I think it worked a lot better in the Halloween series with Jamie Lee Curtis coming back as Laurie Strode, and that was more compelling. And of course, that was a much darker, more serious movie from the get-go. And Scream has always been a little bit more self-referential and kind of, a mix of like comedy and whodunit kind of stuff. So it was a little bit better than I expected it. I think I had fun largely because I went with my wife, and she, compared to our last theatrical experience that was Wuthering Heights, this was a breath of fresh air. Not a great movie, but I didn't expect it to be, so I would land at a 2 for this. It was silly and overstayed its welcome in a couple. It could have been a little bit shorter, but it wasn't awful. I would say that, but yeah, I would land at a 2.
I went into this film with reasonably low expectations. I did not expect much from Scream 7, but I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised. And it is not because the writing was great. It's not because the performances were transformative. It is not because the characters were engaging. It's not because the pacing was perfect or the cinematography was amazing. But if you want me to name what it is, I'm gonna have a really hard time. Because if you want to know the absolute truth, I don't understand it. I would rate this franchise higher than I would rate the average of all the films in the franchise. And that doesn't make a lot of sense. I find it really interesting, but I know it doesn't make a lot of sense. The thing is, I watched these films, Scream 1 through Scream 7, back to back. And although I had a lot of criticism for every film, I was always excited for the next film. I don't know what it is about these films. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why, but I'm a fan of the Scream franchise. It frustrates the heck out of me because I expect more than it has ever given me, but I do enjoy it, and I do enjoy Scream 7. It beat my expectations. I'm shocked to say it was fun to have Neve Campbell and Matthew Lillard back. I did not expect that, but I'm going to give this film 3 stars. Again, it's the intangible, but 3 stars for me. We want to know, what did you think of Scream 7? Please tell us.
Hey, motherfuckers. You want to watch a movie that's not stupid, uninspired, and actually inventive and scary and funny? And, Scream 7 had a little bit of that, but... boy, left a little bit to be desired, huh? Yeah? Unless you like Scream. I got a better movie for you. It's 2011. The movie is The Cabin in the Woods. Yeah, it's got some, it's got a little splash of Evil Dead in there, but it doesn't go in the direction you think it's going to go. And this is kind of one of those rare movies that was directed and written by Drew Goddard. It was his directorial debut, and Joss Whedon had some involvement, and he's since been disgraced. But if you want to watch a movie with an all-star cast, one that's interesting and funny and quirky and weird and kind of science fiction-y and doesn't end up going in the direction you think it's going to go, well then, why don't you go check it out? It's called The Cabin in the Woods, made in 2011, and I do not think that you will be disappointed.
Thank you for listening to Faster Film Critic, and please join us next week when we talk The Bride, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. You can also follow us on Letterboxd, Cinetrack, and Instagram. Email us at fasterfilmcritic@gmail.com. Hit us up with questions, comments, feedback, review requests, and share this episode with your movie-loving friends.